She was born into nothing but pain. Oprah Gail Winfrey, born in Mississippi in 1954, to a teenage maid who couldn't raise her and a father who didn't know he was hers. Raised by her grandmother in poverty so deep she wore dresses made of potato sacks. She read the Bible before she could spell her name, reciting verses in church while standing on a wooden crate. But behind closed doors, darkness ruled. At 9 years old, she was raped by a cousin, then molested by other family members. No one believed her, so she stayed silent. At 14, she became pregnant. The baby died. She called it the baby who saved my life, because after that, everything changed. She moved in with her strict father, Vernon Winfrey. He made her read a book a week. He made her speak. He made her think. And slowly, the girl who was silenced became the girl with a voice. At 17, she won a local beauty pageant that led her to radio, then to TV. By 19, she was the youngest and first black female news anchor in Nashville. But she was too emotional, they said, too soft, too raw. They demoted her to a low-rated morning show. But there she found magic. She found herself. She didn't read the news. She felt it. She listened. She connected. She didn't ask questions to get ratings. She asked because she needed to understand pain. In 1984, she took over a failing Chicago talk show. Within months, ratings exploded. By 1986, it became the Oprah Winfrey Show. She wasn't just hosting a show. She was holding space for the world. She interviewed presidents. She made authors into millionaires. She made the world cry and then helped it heal. But Oprah was never just a host. She was a woman still healing from trauma. When she asked survivors, what gave you the strength to keep going? She wasn't just interviewing, she was searching for her own strength. Her interview with Whitney Houston, she asked about drugs, about anger.
Tell you why.
Very dear one. My mother, I was 13.
But she knew that rage. She knew addiction. She had once battled food addiction, eating in secret to numb the pain. With Michael Jackson, she didn't push. She let him speak like a wounded child. Michael Jackson, a friend's last cry. Michael Jackson opens the gates of Neverland. Oprah walks in. Millions watched as he said, I only had one plastic surgery. I have vitiligo. She nodded, not pushing further. Some accused her of being soft, but they didn't know Oprah had once been mocked for her appearance too. Her nose, her hair, her skin.
Normally don't write questions down, but there's so many I didn't want to forget them. First of all, I have been in this house getting lit and getting prepared for this, and I've been all over the house upstairs when you weren't looking for that oxygen chamber. I cannot find the oxygen chamber anywhere.
What saw was the 30 minutes of conversation they
in the house. That story is so crazy.
Where Michael spoke about his lonely childhood and how he cried himself to sleep. Oprah cried too, but the network thought it was too sad for prime time. She later confessed that interview wasn't about truth. It was about letting him feel safe for once. Launched OWN, a television network, became the first black woman billionaire in American history. But behind all the success, very few knew the whole story. Few knew she paid for hundreds of students' tuition, that she opened a school in South Africa for girls who reminded her of herself, that she meditates twice a day, reads scripture every morning, and believes that life whispers lessons to you if you listen. She doesn't believe in religion the way others do. She believes in intention, that your thoughts create your reality. She said, you become what you believe, but not everyone agreed. Some accused her of promoting fake health cures, of endorsing spiritual leaders who weren't qualified, of giving too much airtime to celebrities and not enough to truth. Some said she became out of touch, that fame made her distant, that her show turned pain into performance. But Oprah never claimed to be perfect. She admitted her mistakes. She cried over her failures. She stayed in unhealthy relationships. She struggled with weight for decades. She dragged a wagon full of fat onto her stage one day and regretted it forever. She shared everything until it hurt. She said, "Everyone wants to be seen. Everyone wants to be heard. Everyone wants to know they matter." And that was the mission of her life. She retired from her daily show in 2011, but she never stopped inspiring. She gave speeches. She created documentaries. She produced films. She told the story of the color purple. She brought Maya Angelou to millions. She turned personal truth into global power. From a child who had no voice to a woman who gave voice to the world. Oprah didn't just build an empire. She built a legacy. She proved that you can rise after falling, that your trauma does not define your worth, that pain can become purpose, that silence can become strength. And even now, she still reminds us.
That's who I am.
Your story matters. Your life is speaking. And someone out there is waiting for your light.
One of the greatest gifts you can give to yourself is forgive. Forgive everybody. Just forgive it.
She once said, "I became the interviewer I needed as a child." Whitney Houston, who are you angry with? The interview that shocked everyone. Whitney Houston, fierce, defensive, beautiful. Oprah asked, "Do you use drugs?" Whitney snapped back, "No, crack is whack." But the truth was, Oprah knew, not from tabloids, but because she had once battled addiction herself. Not drugs, but food, a secret binge eater for years, hiding pain in refrigerators and backstage snacks. In Whitney's defiance, Oprah saw herself, the denial, the shield. That's why she didn't push harder. She knew how far one could go to protect an image. Tom Cruise's A Couch, that wasn't funny. He jumped, he laughed, he shouted about love, but Oprah's eyes, they weren't amused.
That Surrey was coming. How did you prepare them for it? What did you say to Bella?
We had Kate's family and my family, and it was, and the kids and everyone were just hanging and doing this.
How did you prepare them?
Tom Cruise was spiraling, and she knew it. But producers urged her let the moment be entertaining, so she let the cameras roll. Inside, she later admitted she was worried. Years later, in private, she said, "The couch wasn't the story. His pain was, but I missed it." Even Oprah had regrets. The Meghan and Harry interviewing the silence after. Oprah sat under a tree, listening to Meghan Markle describe racism inside the royal family. They were concerned about how dark Archie's skin might be. The world gasped. Oprah blinked, paused, and softly asked, "Who said that?" "I think that would be very damaging to them." But here's the secret. Oprah knew the name. She told close friends she did, but out of deep respect for Meghan's trauma, desire not to unleash chaos, she held it back. She had the world's biggest bombshell in her lap and chose silence because this time, the cost of the truth was someone's life.
What?
It was really hard. Look, I was really ashamed to say it at the time, and ashamed to have to admit it to Harry, especially.
Oprah's hardest interview was herself. In 2011, Oprah sat down with Barbara Walters, but something strange happened.
That everybody deserves. I probably have never told her that.
When Walters asked Oprah about her best friend, Gayle King, "Have you ever been lovers?" Oprah teared up. "I'm not even kind of a lesbian." But the fact that someone would think that, it hurts. What people didn't understand. Oprah wasn't crying over the question. She was crying over never feeling safe in a relationship. All her life, she feared abandonment, even with Stedman, even with Gail. Her deepest truth: I've spent my life asking people about their lives because I was afraid to examine mine too closely. When the camera stopped rolling, so many interviews ended with applause, but some ended with Oprah hugging her guest in silence. She once embraced a Holocaust survivor for 10 minutes after the show, said nothing, just held her. Another time, a victim of incest thanked Oprah backstage. "You believed me before anyone else did." And Oprah broke down why people called her fake and why she kept going. Critics called her calculated, too emotional, a billionaire playing therapist. But they never saw the thousands of letters from survivors, the single moms who said, "You gave me hope." They never knew she once stood on her bathroom scale, saw 237 pounds, and sobbed, then walked on to her show the same day and made millions feel seen. Because Oprah Winfrey didn't just interview people, she mirrored them, she healed through them, and in doing so, healed herself. The hidden truth behind Oprah Winfrey's interviews: she wasn't just the host, she was the unspoken guest in every story.